Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying the Be the Difference podcast. If you are, I got a huge favor to ask. Go on to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review for us. It helps us immensely with algorithms and growth because we grow completely by word of mouth, organically. That's why there are no ads. Also, feel free to share this content with somebody you think might get value out of it. Last, if you don't know, I also do coaching to help people become the best version of themselves, starting with physical fitness, going all the way through mindset, sales, and leadership. If you're interested in learning more, there's going to be a link in the description of the podcast. You can schedule a time. It's a free assessment. All I'm going to do is have a conversation with you and see if I can even help you. I look forward to speaking to all of you. Continue to enjoy the podcast, and remember to always be the difference. What's up, everybody? It's Greg with Delta, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers. Today, we've got the honor and pleasure of welcoming to the podcast Mr. Steve Buzogany. Oh, man, I'm getting worse at this. I'm usually really good, but I've had some very unique names lately. So
that's all good. No worries, man. No judgment, no hate, nothing. You're good.
Buzogany. Got it. Yes. I got it now. All right. So, Steve, how you doing, brother?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on today.
Dude, it's my pleasure. I appreciate you coming on board. I know we got some exciting things to talk about. That's going to be really good for some sales entrepreneurs. But Steve is a recognized expert in strategic appreciation and is an author, speaker, and consultant. He has worked with nationally ranked sales leaders and teams at companies like Berkshire Hathaway, Keller Williams, and Remax. He is best known for his ability to leave unique, long-lasting, and positive impressions on people. Steve.
Yeah, that seems to be the rumor. All of those things.
all those things. You know, when I'm reading that, I was looking at your profile beforehand. It really reminds me of, you know, I'm a big fan of Alex Ramosi. I'm a big fan of Andy Frisella, and both of them talk about like client retention and basically treating your client like they're the only client in the world, right? And like,
yeah, that's my tagline in when I was doing my real estate business. That was it. It's like, I want you to feel like you're the only client I have.
Yeah, and it works.
It does. It's amazing how many people don't get that, and then they just go like, oh, you know, whatever. I just, you know, I want to go with, you know, find them, fleece them, and forget them, and then you can have a new year every year, and every year is a new year, and people will tell you, oh, I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm like, no, you've been living the same year for 20 years. You have 1 year of experience.
Yeah. So that's actually a good way to look at it. It's like, oh yeah, I've been in the business for 20 years. It's like, no, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Every single year after year, you're not growing. You know, you're doing.
Correct.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So, what I assume that you didn't just start sales that way, right? You probably had some aha moments, some hero's journey where you realize like, oh man, this is the pinnacle. This is the way. What happened? Talk us through that.
Yeah. So for me, I actually didn't get I'm more of an introvert type person. I'm not like, you know, let me hide under a rock and, you know, be all on my own forever. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I do like tend to lean more towards the introverted side of the social spectrum, if you will. Mm-hmm. And basically what I had a really hard time doing with, because obviously real estate was a very heavy contact sport, as they call it, at any kind of sales, financial advisors or lawyers, accountants, anybody who provides a service of some kind, it's a contact sport. And for me, I struggled with, you know, calling my database and being like, so what are you thinking about selling a house anytime soon? Or do you know anyone? Or, you know, like those are the worst conversations. And they were always hard for me. So what I started doing just to like break the ice, actually like obliterate the ice, what I did is I would send a gift ahead of time. And I would just say, hey, I just wanted to personally thank you for just being in my life and contributing all the things that you've done to help me out with whatever. Yeah. And then I would call 2 or 3 days after that and just say, hey, just calling to see that you got a gift and wanted to let you know how much I appreciate you and just wanted to make sure you got it. And they would be like, oh yeah, that was so cool. So unexpected. So sorry that I didn't say thank you. Or, you know, sometimes there are people who don't say thank you, but other times they reach out to you, but and I was just like, hey, so this is so amazing, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much for doing this, Steve. And because they know I'm a real estate agent, or they know or if they know you're a financial advisor or whatever, the question inevitably will become, how's the market? And then you get the organic door open to now talk business with this person. And, or if they know you're a small business owner, maybe you're like a contractor or a restaurant owner or whatever, and they're just going to be like, well, how's business? They're going to ask you about business. How's life? They're on the phone with you. They're not just going to be like, okay, cool, thanks, bye, see ya. Like, they're not just going to eject you off the phone real quick. So they'll talk about it, and then you get to talk about it. And it's like, oh, well, hey, I saw on Facebook you just had a kid, so you guys making a move? Or like, I wouldn't say it obviously that pointed, but like that would be, I'd lean towards that. Yeah. You can find out that kind of stuff. So that made the sales conversations a lot easier to engage, which was a lot more fun, and it was obviously making someone's day is way more fun than trying to like call them, try to find out how they, get something out of them. They feel like you're trying to get something out of them. You feel like you're trying to get something out of them. You feel like you need a shower after the phone call because it's so gross. All of this. So like all that stuff is terrible. So when we send them a gift and it's like, hey, I sent you a personalized, journal a gratitude journal or just a note-taking journal or something that's personalized with their name on it and stuff. They're like, this is so cool. I was never expecting this. Or anything, a Cutco knife, scissors, whatever.
Yeah. That's so, dude, Cutco knives are expensive.
They are, but what's more expensive is taking your client out to dinner and make one impression and having a fart in the wind. That's more expensive.
Yeah, that's true. But those are good. So when if you're started, like you're just starting, how did you have the money to be able to buy these gifts and send it to so many people? How did you start? Or did you already have like
I started doing when I was focused before I did like the appreciation advocate, which I do now. I was when I got started with my real estate career, I just did a little bit of the normal stuff. I was just doing like open houses, because they were free. You just had to sit in an open house and collect buyers every Sunday. Yeah. So I did those. And then, after a while, I was like, okay, I really need to reach the next level. And not every gift that I get people is not always expensive. It's not always like, you don't have to get people Cutco knives. Like you can get people like some of my settlement gifts are only $13, but they last forever and they're awesome gifts. So like other times people, I send them other things that are like less than 20 or $30. And people think that just because I'm a gift giving guy doing appreciation advocate or a gift giving guy doing real estate, they're just like, everything is expensive. Your marketing budget's ridiculous. And it's like, it's not really, sending these, some people, like I was saying before, just to kind of allude to it. I used to send gift cards, which is like the worst thing you can do as a gifter. Like nothing says, I don't care enough, or I'm too lazy to put any effort into a relationship with you better than a gift card says.
I like the personalized planner, like gratitude journal or something like that.
It can be a journal. It could be a gratitude journal. It could be like just a note-taking book. Like I have, there are some clients I have who like to write in a notebook everywhere they go. So I send them a notebook and it's got their front name on it, personalized to them. And it's just like, it's like less than $30.
Yeah. There's a really good company called Paper and Plan Co.
Paper and Plan?
Paper and Plan Company.
Okay.
Paper and Plan
I think I've heard of this company actually.
It's actually owned by Emily Frisella, Andy Frisella's wife, and they make some of the best planners I've ever seen. Like, I mean, talking the highest quality paper. Really, like every single piece of paper would have your name in cursive on the bottom.
Yeah, I think I've known this company. I think I got an ad for them the other day because I'm always like shopping for different gifting things to do for people. And like, of course, as an appreciation advocate, they're always like, well, you should try this. Oh, you should try this. You should try this. And it's like, Big Brother's watching again.
I'm not affiliated. So even though I'm talking about the company, I'm not affiliated with Paper Plan Company in any way, shape, or form. However, I do like the quality that they put into. Like Emily Frisella and Andy Frisella both, they put very high quality into their products, and that's like their number one thing is like quality above all else. And so,
good,
dude, it's like they're really like if you're looking for a great planner, or if you're looking to buy a planner for somebody and send it to them with done. Like that's how it's done.
Okay, this is gonna go on the into the gifting realm then. So I have a collection of gifting items. So this will go into the what do you call it? The library, if you will.
Well, yeah, I have the same thing. I have a library of stuff of like ideas for different things. I'm the same way.
That's awesome.
Way.
Yeah, throw it in there.
Paper and plan account. Because I actually
Yep.
like, as you're talking about it, I just came up with that idea. I've never done that before, but I did have somebody else that I knew that had a paper and plan co binder, and like it's like you can get like a little notepad that's just like tear off notes, and at the bottom of every single note binder, it has your name in cursive.
Isn't that nice?
It's the small details, bro. This is like
it is the small details. It is the small details, because like for me, in the real estate world, like they always say the last 15% of a house is always the hardest to finish whenever they're building a house. And that's because that's where the details are. And when you skip those details or you cut corners, buyers know. You take a buyer through a house that's got shoddy details, they're going to be like, the whole house looks like crap. Everything behind the walls, but then they start judging behind the walls too. It's like, oh my God, if they cut these corners, what do they do behind the walls? Versus if you finish the details with spectacular fashion, they're going to be like, wow, this is a nice ass home. I love this. Let's get an offer in right away. So it's a big deal. The details are, devil's in the details. That is such a true, saying, whoever came up with that.
Yeah, it absolutely is. That's a great way. So if somebody was brand new, so there's a lot of sales entrepreneurs that are listening to this podcast that are brand new in the business. Okay. Or they're in their 9 to 5, they're kind of transitioning in. They don't really have money and they're trying to like basically go all in on a budget.
Okay, right? That's fine.
What would you recommend for them in order to like do gifts, like a cheaper way to do gifts or something personalized that would like get attention, if any?
Yeah, you don't have to break the bank, but what I would do is, like, for me, when I first got started, I was broke. I'm making $400 a week living in my mom's basement. So like not like super rich by any means. So I would say the best thing I would do, all right, so my settlement gifts when I first got started, and I still are today because everybody likes them so much, is I get a watercolor painting of the house they bought made, and I send it to them after settlement, not during settlement. And that's a $13 gift. So if and it lasts so all right, let's pull this up. For what I would say, one of the things I do is there are 6 criteria for a gift that makes it last, that makes a good gift. 6 criteria for what makes a good gift. So I would do is consider all of these things and then start finding ways to put these together, because you can come up with things like this that don't cost a fortune. It's not about the price tag ever, really. But so we know these 6 things. I would say focus, and the focus has to be on the receiver, not the giver. Because if the focus is on the giver, then it's promo. And that's how you unintentionally poison your best relationships, is by giving promo as gifts. So you never want to make that mistake. Then the second thing is the gift does have to be high quality, because cheap gifts do get tossed and forgotten. Especially if they're presented.
And it's just a waste of money anyways.
It is. When you go to a convention or whatever, or a conference or whatever, and they give you a swag bag, what's the first thing you do? You go like, okay, is there a pen or something I can use to write on while I'm here? And then you chuck the thing. Everything, you don't keep anything in there. Yeah. And if you do that, it usually breaks. Like I like to drink beer, but even the bottle openers are crappy. Like it's like this thing, the bottle cap breaks the bottle opener before I get to even open a beer with it. So the next thing, the third thing is make sure it's personalized. The gift should, like I said, it has to be about the recipient. So it doesn't necessarily have to be engraved, although I would tell you do it if you can do it. But maybe something else, like it's their favorite color, it's their favorite brand, it's whatever, but it's personalized to them. Fourth thing is got to be deep emotional impact. Something that tugs at their heartstrings. It shows you're paying attention. It shows that you care, that you notice this little thing, that you notice that little thing, and you went to that extra. That for you it's a minor step, but to them it's a major step to just put that little thing in. So connect with and obviously, as I think it was Zig Ziglar who said, people buy emotionally and justify logically. So make sure you invest in the emotion. If you want people to make a financial withdrawal for you, then you need to make an emotional deposit for them. So that's why the emotions are very important. So the fifth thing is got to have staying power. It's got to be able to be used often, seen often, just present in, and a constant reminder. So like what I was saying with my company, we tell people to do what's called attacking the kitchen, because attacking the kitchen means every time they touch something, it's going to be from you. Cutco knives, Cutco scissors, pots, pans, spatulas, cooking utensils, cutting boards. I mean, anything that's in the kitchen that's high quality that they remember. Like one of the gifts I used to give people after like their first year anniversary was like, I used to get a cutting board, but it wouldn't say Remax or Keller Williams all over it. It would have like a monogram of their name.
Yes, someone got me a cutting board with a monogram of, it just has a big B. And then underneath it was like etched in like the fire etching was my last name underneath.
Nice. Yeah. And then and then it has their name underneath it. And then what I also used to put was the address of the house they bought and then the date they bought the house. And it was a big 18-inch by 24-inch piece of wood. It was massive. And I would get text messages from people and they'd be like, oh my God, this is so nice. I'm never going to use this because it's so beautiful. I need to, and I'm going to make it the centerpiece of my kitchen. So now they're going to go into their kitchen and they're going to, which just maybe 20 times a day, they might do that.
Yeah.
And that's a subtle reminder of you every time they walk by it. It's not like a slap in the face, but it's just like, oh yeah, Steve. And it's a story thing too. People, they invite people over and friends and family come over and they want to talk about like, oh wow, where'd you get that centerpiece or whatever? And they're just like, oh, well, my realtor gave it to me. It's like, oh, wow, these are really nice scissors. Where'd you get these? Oh, my realtor gave it to me. Oh, well, that's a nice pan. And it's like, what, did your realtor buy your kitchen for you? It's like, yes, basically.
Man, so before you go to the sixth point, these are some of the best, just absolutely like applicable strategies, especially when it comes to sales, because you can use this in any industry, to be honest. That I've had on the podcast in a long time. Like these are fantastic. So
I have more goodies. Don't worry. But yeah. So and then the last thing is build a connection. Make sure that it's that you put it send it with a handwritten note. Handwritten notes are the best, cheapest thing you can do to make an impact on somebody, and make sure that you like make it about them. Again, as long as it's about them. Like again, don't give promo as a gift. Promo it does have a purpose. Like when you're out in a community fundraiser or whatever, and you've got to get your name out there, whatever, that's fine. You can do that. Promo's got a purpose, but it's not.
But you know what? When you get a promo, they're way more willing to be a part of that promo and listen to that promo.
Yes.
And tell people about that promo and share it because you were so genuine when you made something about them.
Yes. Promo is great when used for promo. Yes. Promo is terrible when used for a gift. Like if I put an appreciation advocate logo all on a t-shirt and just send it to you out of nowhere, like, or even like my real estate career, if I put like a big fat Keller Williams on it and send it to you like, hey, happy 1 year anniversary, here's my logo and my thing. Like I have a big picture frame under this pile of crap right here. And I was in a coaching program for real estate once, and I would say 90% of the photo is this person's logo. And my name is at the bottom, very, very small. And it's like, this is a gift for me. Like, I can't even find my name. It's just your logo and then my small name at the bottom. I said, this is a terrible gift. That's why it's at the bottom of the bunch of crap and not like hung up somewhere.
So I got a question. Everyone that's on my podcast, you saw when you fill out your form, you put in your address and your shirt size. So I send them one of my t-shirts from my company, but on the back it says "Be the Difference."
Yes.
And like, I don't do that because I'm trying to get you to, I just want to send you a shirt and thank you for being on the podcast. Like, right.
Okay.
So do you think that's a bad thing?
All right. So
it's literally,
if it's okay with you.
All it is it's just this logo. I'm sorry. This logo, my camera's reversed.
Right.
That's on the chest of the shirt.
Well, how much does it cost per t-shirt?
$16, $17.
Okay. You can get a planner personalized for $16 and that would be a better gift. Because it's about the client, you know what I mean? And I have systems in place that I can actually have that built automated for you so that once a guest leaves a podcast, it gets sent automatically. You don't have to think about it. Or like for me with my real estate career, I would have birthdays, half birthdays, purchase anniversaries, kids' birthdays, special events, weddings, upcoming weddings, whatever the story, a kid being born, whatever it is, that all of that was automated and handwritten notes were automated. Like I actually got I've learned a way that I can actually put my own handwriting into a note card and have it automated where I don't actually have to sit down and write 20 notes a week, which was nice. Because
there are systems that like analyze your handwriting.
There's a company called Handwritten. Now that's I will say this, Handwritten is a good company. It's a little on the expensive side though. Like I would say it's kind of pretty expensive. Now, again, I'm not affiliated with them either. This is just a personal review. Great customer service. They're just expensive. And I think it's like $1,000 just to have your handwrite. They can create your font with your handwriting for like $1,000 or something. Yeah. So like, I don't use them just because they're a little bit on the high side, but they are a good company in my opinion. But you can do that stuff. But I found other ways that you can do it. Like you could do, you can like remove the background on photos and stuff like that. It's like a kind of a process. I'm not going to go through it right now, but it's basically you can create a way to have your handwriting onto a note card and automate it, which is cool. And I think cool. That saves a lot of time. And then like other good stuff we could go over is like, I would say the 3 anchors of appreciation is one of the things I tell people to avoid, because a lot of people, and then after that we can talk about, and we'll go through the 6, like the bad gift list. Since we're on actually, why don't we do that first? Because we're on the topic of talking about.
Let's talk about bad gift list.
Bad gifts. Because as I know, sometimes people I do get that question a lot. People are like, what's a bad gift? So like one thing I would say a bad gift is like a thank you email. Like when you get a referral or somebody sends you business, or when people do business with you, don't just send a thank you email. Like a thank you email is like, it's just the end of a transaction. That's really all it is. It's not actually a gift. It's not actually a thank you gesture. It's kind of like, all right, whatever, blah. I mean, when you get those automated thank you emails, you just like, whatever. They get lost in the inbox and, nobody thinks anything of them. Second thing is like, you don't want to get like, I'd say alcohol or food, because they're consumable and they only make one impression. So like, obviously as a referral marketer or somebody who's a top of mind marketer who wants referral business, who wants to grow and build a sphere of influence and a network to make them smarter, more expand their network and more valuable. And I would say alcohol and food are terrible because, like I've said before, it's a fart in the wind gift. It makes one impression, then it's gone. And you can't stay top of mind with one impression. So I would say something like, if you give alcohol, like, first of all, alcohol is terrible because what if somebody, now there's obviously a situation where somebody might have an obsession. Like this one guy we know has a $300,000 bourbon room in his house or a bourbon room with $300,000 worth of bourbon in the room. And that's insane. Now that guy, obviously I wouldn't touch bourbon if I were that guy, because if I give him anything, he's going to know what it is and he's going to know exactly what I paid for it. He's going to judge me based on what I give him. So I would stay away from bourbon, even in that situation. But like giving alcohol, like I'm going to make fun of realtors because I am one, so I'm allowed to say this, but basically the stereotypical realtor gift is, let's give a bottle of champagne and maybe like a silly gift basket at settlement. And the gift basket is just full of nonsense, like soaps and candles and things that are of no use. Now, obviously, soap and candles are good for a period of time, but it's like, whatever. The alcohol part is, what if they're an alcoholic? What if they're recovering from alcoholism? What if they have a family member, friend who's an alcoholic? What if they had a family member, friend who gets killed by a drunk driver? What if they are a connoisseur? And then you know that you picked off this bottle of champagne off the bottom shelf, and they're going to think, "Wow, what an a-hole! I just bought $1 million home from this person. This guy's getting a $20,000 commission check, and he's giving me a $12 bottle of champagne. What an a-hole! Like this guy's a piece of shit." Like that's what they're going to say. So I would stay away from champagne and food items, and even events and experiences. That's the next one. I would say stay. Events and experiences, meaning like don't do like the steak dinners, the basketball games, or the lunches, the coffees, those things, because those things are, well, like I said before, one impression. Like once you might go to a basketball, like I have title companies and mortgage companies throwing Sixers games and Flyers games and Phillies games and Eagles games at me like all the time. I'm always going to those kind of games, and it's just like you just forget about them the next, like within a day or two, you're like on to the next thing. You've got a business to run. You're not thinking about, oh, cool. Yeah, I was at the Birds game on Sunday. Cool. But that was it. Like that was the game. It's just a regular game. Even if you took someone to the Super Bowl, you could say like, yeah, that was such a memorable experience, but it's not top of mind. It's like you don't talk about the Super Bowl every day. And in which case, then it comes back to being it's cost per impression. As a marketing company, you want your cost per impression, you want that as low as possible. If you went up to a marketing agency and you said, hey, I can get you one impression for $10,000. That's how good I am. They're going to be like, get the F out of here, dude. $10,000 for one impression. You can hit the pavement, buddy. You're out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want you anywhere near.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't want you anywhere near my business. So, and then the next thing I would say flowers and like edible arrangements, those kind of things, because they're like, they last a week and then they're gone. So one of the things, like as a substitute for that, like there's a jeweler near me. They make gold dipped roses, which is really cool. And they actually last forever. So you can actually buy gold dipped roses instead. And you give that, like I gave that to my wife once and she thought it was awesome because like she still has the rose. It's 4 years old now. And it's like, it's still there and it's still very red and it's dipped in gold and it's awesome. But it doesn't, if I got her a dozen roses or 2 dozen roses and spent $105 on it or whatever, some of them are 200 plus, like one, it's like triple the price of what I paid for these roses and they're dead. So it's like,
you're dead like in a week.
Yeah. And then last, like swag bags, promo items, gift cards, they're terrible gifts. Swag stands for SWAG, is like stuff we all get, basically, is what it stands for. Obviously, I use a different S word, but that's basically what it is.
You can say shit. It's okay.
Okay.
This is an adult podcast.
Okay. But yeah, that's basically what swag bag. So that's what swag stands for, in my opinion. And then gift cards, like I was telling you before, like nothing says I don't have time for a relationship with you better than a gift card does, or an e-gift card. Even
this is very enlightening conversation, by the way. I've learned it a lot, so
okay.
I really like this, and I know that for the listeners that are listening to this when this airs, this is gold. So go back and like take some notes and start applying this to your business and really change your business in order to become the person that they go to. And, man.
Well, so here's the other thing is like and this actually might be valuable to your listeners. So I'm actually doing I'm actually creating a class on this. Like I'm building basically I'm launching a program. So one of the things I absolutely freaking hate, only because I've been nailed for about $100,000 over the course of my career, is like spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on coaches that like, they say, oh, I can promise you the sun, moon, and the stars. You sign up for their coaching program, and then you get like no support afterwards, and you're lost still, and now you're just out the money. And then because it costs like $20,000 or $10,000 or even $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, you spend all the money on the coach. Now you don't have the money to invest in your business. Yeah. And so what I'm actually doing is I'm actually going to create a coaching platform for like less than like $50 or $60 a month, and teach everybody this kind of stuff. And I'm going to basically build their spheres of influence for them. And I'm launching the beta program sometime in like the next like 30 to 60 days or so. So if that's something your listeners want to do, they can jump into the Facebook group for free, and then they can learn this stuff. And I can basically help them and not break the bank for them. So they can learn this stuff, grow this stuff, and then not, they can spend their money on their business versus, forking over $20,000 for a coach that doesn't give 2 craps about you.
So this will air in August. So there's
That's
definitely
fine.
So by the time this airs, your beta and everything should be launched already.
Yeah, that's good. Perfect. So if you're hearing the episode, then slide on over. The database doctor is what's called.
The database doctor. That is really cool. Yeah. I like that a lot. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So you mentioned earlier, you talked about the 6 gift ideas or the 6 categories that a gift should make.
Yes.
6 bad gifts, but you said something before that.
Oh, the 3 anchors of appreciation.
There you go.
But anchor is a negative term, by the way. It's not a good anchor. It's not like a foundation. Like it's not like something good like that. It's it's something actually holding you back. So the 3 anchors of appreciation are, the first one is the what did I used to call this? I called this the singular attempt or the singular effort. And that is basically when somebody you only make one impression versus like what we're talking about with the food items, the alcohol, the steak dinners, the ball games, whatever it is. Those are only one impression. That's a singular effort. It's fart in the wind. It's gone. You're not remembered anymore.
Yeah.
Then there's the second big problem is the negative Nancy. And I call it that, the second anchor of that, because that it's a one-off lazy gift. It's like a flat out bad gift that doesn't keep you top of mind. It's like it actually hurts your reputation in the mind of your customer. So like if you're on a scale from 1 to 10, the negative Nancy is basically like a neutral or negative impression. Like it doesn't do anything for you. It just keeps kind of sinks you like an anchor. And the third one is
like a gift card with a pre-printed card. Thank you card.
Wow. Yeah, that's just like being tied to the Titanic.
Yeah.
But then the third big problem, the third anchor, I would say, is this is the most fatal one of all of them. This is the false positive. And the false positive is basically that people lie about their real feelings regarding a gift. So no one's ever going to tell you that your gift sucks. They're not going to say like, hey, Greg, I really appreciate the gift, but you can take this home and shove it up your ass because it's a piece of shit gift and I don't like it. Like no one's going to say that to you. So that they're going to...
What? What?
Well, why don't you send me a gift? I'll tell you the truth. But basically, so people lie about their feelings, but the thing is, like you as the giver, you get the feedback. Your feedback. All right, let's see. The feedback of a good gift and the feedback of a bad gift is exactly the same. So you don't really know all the time when you're giving a terrible gift, because you give a terrible gift, and they're going to go, "Oh, thank you so much. You shouldn't have." Turn around and regift it. Turn around and sell it. Turn around and trash it. Like they're not going to tell you. So you're reinforced that was a good thing. So you're just going to say, I'm going to do that again next time. I'm going to do that to other people too, because that was such a good response. So it's a false positive. So you're basically unintentionally destroying and poisoning all of your relationships that are close to you, which is a terrible thing. So yeah, it's a cycle of bad gift giving and it never stops.
Those are some really keen observations, key points.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that. Yeah, if you give somebody a bad gift, they're not going to be like, "Oh, thanks."
F
this
you.
really sucks.
Yeah.
F yourself, buddy. Right in my face.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. You know what? I don't want this. Here you
go. Yeah. Oh man, that would be mortified if anybody ever did that to me.
But at the same time, it would be a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
And you never give that kind of gift again.
Absolutely. I would never give it again. I was like, whatever this is cursed. I'm never touching this. I'm not doing it again.
I'm never touching gift cards again.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. It's like almost like financial education. I'm sorry. The sun is coming in like at the worst time right now. The thing is, like, it's just like financial education. Like we don't have like a real formal way in schools where we teach like you're almost like lucky if your parents teach you how to manage money, or maybe you have a mentor of some kind, or if you like have a natural draw to money and find, like a natural, proclivity or draw to it, where if you don't have that, basically like my wife does not care about money at all. Like she doesn't keep track. And this is a lot of people, like half the United States, what Dave Ramsey calls them, I think he's got like the analytics, and then he's got like the free spirits. The free spirits, they don't care about money. The spreadsheets make them sick. So like you have these people these different things. And then gifting's just like that. There's no like formal education. You're like either born into a family that teaches it, like money, or you're not. And you just don't know. And you're just gifted with and that's the other myth about gift giving is like some people, I've heard so many people, and this is going to blow your mind real quick. Some people will say how many times have you heard this? People go, oh my God, I'm like the worst gift giver. Like so-and-so is so good. They're just amazing. Like they're like the best giver. Look, here's the real truth. When I hear that, this is what I hear. I hear they are a better effort maker than you are, which means I'm going to go to them because they make more effort, because gift giving is not a gift. It's like, it's a skill that can be learned.
Yeah. It is intentional effort,
yes,
an actionable effort on someone's part towards another person.
Yes, exactly. That's actually how I define gratitude. Like when I define the word gratitude, like my definition of gratitude is the purposeful unbalancing of a scale in the direction of another human being. So you basically, that person makes a bigger effort to tip the scale towards someone else than you do because you're a terrible gift giver, as you just admitted just now or whatever. And that person, you just said that person gives a great gift giver, which means they know how to tip that scale, push it towards the other person, and really push really hard. And that's like, all right, well, I'm going to go to them then.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I like that.
Yeah.
And so where the rubber meets the road. Okay. You start following these principles, these 6 rules to gift giving that someone starts doing that. What can people expect? Because they're going to hear the same thing if they give a bad gift is, oh, thank you so much. But what can they actually expect in their business?
Yeah. So one, all right. So when you write personal notes, almost never do you ever get someone that actually like says thank you for a personal note, because that's one thing. But when you send a gift, you do get a lot of responses, like and people. And then also when you do see that person next time, they will tell you like, oh my God, so-and-so loves the picture of the house that you bought. They love everyone always asks about the cutting board you send, or oh my God, or they'll start sending you pictures. Like I send Cutco knives with their engraved names on their on the knives or the scissors, and they'll send a picture like, Steve, I just got the knife. Oh my God, this is amazing. And like those are good responses, because people who get really genuinely bad gifts, they don't give a crap to tell you like, hey, thanks for this terrible piece of crap gift, jerk.
Yeah.
Like
take a picture of it, be like, hey man, thanks for this really terrible gift. I love it so much.
Yeah, nobody wants to take a picture. They didn't want to be seen with that thing, and there's proof of it. Yeah. They're gonna be like, that thing's going right to the dump. Like, because everybody's not like that. Probably has that one family member who just like that one like aunt or uncle that gives you like this ridiculously terrible gift, and it's like, what planet does she think I'm on? Or something like that.
Thank you for the Logan's Roadhouse gift card. I mean, here's a picture of me eating some rolls.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, like oh, here's a rocket ship, Steve. I'm like, what? We have never expressed, my brother nor me have ever expressed any interest in astronomy or anything. What is the point of this? Like, you know, you go up to me and say, oh, thank you so much, I appreciate it, but like, what the actual F? Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of their business, what can they expect?
So it's a long-term thing. Building relationships is not like, you know, you're not going to flip a switch and then, you know, start gift giving. And by the end of the month, you're going to be like swimming in referrals. Like, but I will say in less than a year, you'll start seeing results. You'll start like before a year is out. I will say like, you'll start seeing like 2 or 3 referrals a month if you're consistent with it and you follow those principles out, and not like, don't like half-ass them. Like, I mean, like actually follow them. Within a year, you're gonna be like seeing like 2 or 3 referrals a month now, which for me in real estate, that's a massive change in income. 2 or 3 referrals a month now. And I don't know what it's like with attorneys or accountants or financial advisors or insurance professionals, but I'm sure. Well, here's the thing. After a year, then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a snowball effect, because then like I have some in my
referrals will give referrals, and then so on and so forth. And it just keeps going. Yeah.
Because people who refer others, those people like to refer others. I have like family trees in my real estate business. Like I've got one referral from one guy who got to this person, who went to this person and did this person. And it's just like this whole tree all started. Like I can go back and be like, look, I got like $75,000 in income just from this one person because I treated him well, who then treated his referrals well. And then the mindset you have when you get the referral is it's not about the referral itself. It's about the question you need to answer is, how do I make the person who sent me this person look like an all-star? And then that's what you do. So like I got a referral to a woman once, and I was just like, okay, so-and-so, let's say Kelly referred me Rachel. So I need to make sure Kelly looks like an absolute rock star to Rachel. And that's what you do. That's how you nail the referral.
Rachel goes back to Kelly and says, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like, yo, Steve's amazing. You will never believe what he did. And Kelly's like, oh yeah. And now Kelly's even more fired up about you. And she's going to
send another referral.
Yeah. She's like, you're never going to believe this. This is how he treats his clients.
This is so, if you guys are watching this, you guys, there's so many nuggets that are being dropped right now. I'm telling you, this is so good. Because here's the ultimate, here's what this all comes down to, is that retention is more important than acquisition.
Yes. I read a stat this morning about that. It was like, if you increase customer retention by 5%, just 5%, you can actually increase income by 25 to 95%, which is a stupid stat.
Yeah.
So
that is crazy.
Yeah,
that
man.
So crazy.
Yes. So anyway, I actually do. So one thing is, before we bounce off, because I got a meeting coming up, but what I'll do is I have a book coming out too. So what I'll do is I'll send you a free copy of that. And then obviously
I'm an avid reader, so I love to read.
Good. Fantastic. So I'll send you that. And then, yeah, dude, join into the beta group too, if you want to jump into that.
I would love to.
Yeah.
What's the name of the group one more time? The Database Doctor?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was taking notes while you're talking, because I love to do. I learned just as much doing these as anyone else.
Yeah,
just fun. Steve, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on and just sharing everything. I know you got to go. Last question I asked, and this is way quick. Yeah. Three people that you have the opportunity to sit with, learn from, break bread with. You know, anyone in history, alive or deceased, who would those 3 people be and why?
I think for me, I don't know about the deceased. I'm going to stick with people who are alive just because I know who they are, and I can't really say much about the people who are gone already because I don't know them.
Yeah.
But so I have a Mount Rushmore of mentors. So I'll give you 4,
Okay.
and they all have different purposes. One's a spiritual guy, one's a financial guy, one's a gifting and customer retention guy, and another guy is just an overall like life coach and business coach. So Brian Buffini is the business coach. John Rowland is the sphere of influence guy. And
that one's a good one.
Yeah, he's great. Steve Harvey is my religious guy.
Okay.
But I, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but connecting with God in a spiritual way, just I never heard the message well until it came through Steve Harvey's voice and just landed for some reason. Even though I've been told the same things all my life, just for some reason when he says it, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And the 4th person is Dave Ramsey, just because I don't know, he's the best financial guy I could come up with. I mean, there's other people too, like David Bach's a good one, and some other financial guys. But Dave Ramsey and the other 3 guys that's my Mount Rushmore of mentors.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast and sharing your experiences, your wisdom. This has been one of the best podcasts. Do me a favor, if you're watching until now, then I know that you got, I'm talking to the audience, I'm sorry. I know that you got value from this. I know you did. Share this content with other people that can also learn, that can grow their business, that can actually expand their client network and do the right things, because retention is more important than acquisition. It takes you 60 seconds to rate, review, subscribe, or share, but it means the world to both Steve and I. So thank you so much for taking part in this. This has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg